Now,
Hello and welcome to Complete with DLC, the only show getting keyboard and mouse support in months. I'm one of your hosts, Jacob Griffin, and sitting across from me is my Jackie Robinson, Brad Knight. Brad, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm feeling kind of lonely here on this video. It's just me and a sad face.
Yeah, I don't look good right now.
Jacob's got a bad hair day, and so do I. But I got a beanie, so at least I can sort of,
Yeah, you can conceal your hair.
yeah.
My hair's just going cray right now.
There we go.
It's been a long week, it feels like. It feels like it's been like 12 years since this week started.
Well, that would be because we spent the majority of Sunday through Tuesday doing E3 stuff,
Yes.
which I had a little experience with, but not much. And you hadn't done this before, so it was a learning experience for all.
I've always watched like the E3 press conferences every year, but this was like the first year where there was like active note taking
Yeah, you
and
had to you
work
had to
being
you
done.
had to participate.
Yeah.
It's a little
And
different.
by the end of the day, I was just drained and I wanted to go to bed.
Yeah, it can take a lot out of you, but it's fine.
Mm.
I enjoyed the work.
Yeah, it was fun watching all those press conferences
I mean,
and
don't get me
seeing.
wrong, I don't want to do it again for another year, but
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't do it again tomorrow or anything, but like it it was fun to see what the year of games coming up has to offer us.
yes, I think Horizon Zero Dawn. Oh, it looks so good.
Oh, it's gonna be that has the ability to be one of the best games of 2017. I hope it doesn't flounder.
Yes, I hope to God that it is as good as it looks.
Mm. But E3 is in the past. Let's look forward to the now and get into what we're playing. Brad,
Yes.
what have you been playing this week?
So the game I'm talking about this week is Gone Home.
Right.
You'd recommend it to me on, I want to say it was the last Thursday show,
Yes.
and
Not just to you, to
yeah,
everybody.
to everybody, and I'm going to agree with that recommendation. If you enjoy a story-based game that you just sort of, it's short, you just experience the story, the gameplay is just sort of to move you along, then check out Gone Home. I think you'll really enjoy it. My brother played it before I did. He seemed to like it. He said it was okay, but I played it and I wasn't a big fan of it. I wasn't huge into it, and I'll tell you why. It's not because of the way it was, because of the story or anything like that. I thought the story was great, and
Mm.
I think where I sort of falter with this game is I saw so much more potential in this game than what it gave me, that it sort of disappointed me.
What kind of potential do you mean?
So this story has the potential to be one of the most heart-tugging, gut-punching stories in video games, but it doesn't do that. And it's because it's a little too heavy-handed with how it treats its notes with its players, right? So
Mm.
I'm gonna go pretty deep into the story here. So if you're listening to this and you want to experience the game for yourself, you don't want to have anything spoiled for you, then check the description of the episode. I'll put a timestamp as to when I'm done talking about it, so you can just skip to that.
Right.
But from here on out, I'm gonna talk about the game in full. It's like
Okay.
a 3 hour game, so it's not that long. But um, so what I mean by a little too heavy-handed in with their notes is that they don't trust their players, is what it feels like, because we learn that the father's a failed writer and an alcoholic. The
Mm.
mother's a workaholic and she's cheating on the father. They're both staunch Christians, right? They're both very, very religious. The daughter finds out she's a lesbian. She turns into a rebel at school and all this other stuff. So it's got characters that can have an emotional impact, but they're too heavy with showing us that these characters are the way they are. Like, I was walking around the father's like study or whatever it was. We had like a big bookshelf and a copy machine and all this other stuff, and I found a whiskey bottle hidden up top a really tall bookshelf, and I went, "Oh, he's an alcoholic." Like, it clicked for me.
Mm.
But then you realize that there are bottles literally everywhere. So like they're just shoving it in your face that he's an alcoholic.
See, I liked that kind of environmental storytelling though.
Oh,
Right.
it's great, but trust your players that they understand what you're trying to say. Like, I got that he was an alcoholic from the first bottle or the first two bottles. I'm like, okay, he's an alcoholic. The same thing with the mother's being a workaholic. Almost every room had a page devoted to her job or something she was doing, or that devoted forest burn or her promotion or her schedule.
Hmm.
Just a few of those would have sent the point that she's a workaholic, she does nothing but work. Where I think they excelled was that she's cheating on the husband. They did that very well because the only reason I figured that out,
Was through the notes from her friend.
yeah, from Rick. So I found the tickets, like, oh, I have these extra tickets, I want to know if you would go. And that seems innocent in and of itself, right? It could be suspicious, but it's benign more or less. But then behind a couple moving boxes, I find a matchbook with Rick's handwriting, a date, and a timestamp on it. Like meet 8 p.m. Rick. I'm like, oh my god, she's cheating on her husband because the marriage is failing, and she just like that is perfect. That's the way you should do it. Outside of those two things, I don't think I found a single other clue that she was cheating on her husband, and yet I still got that across.
Did you find the letters from her friend Carol or something like that?
Yeah, I found one of them. Although a lot of them were in like really, really bad cursive, so
You can
I had to struggle through them.
you can do something in the settings that makes it just come up as regular like typed out text.
Oh, that would have been really helpful. Oh, and for the record, I found 22 out of 23 journals, so I found almost everything. I think the one that I didn't get was there's a paper in the servants' quarters on the floor that I picked up, but I was mashing A too hard, so I picked up and put it down immediately, and she wouldn't pick it back up again. So I have no
Yeah.
idea what was on that paper.
It wasn't like a journal entry that's read to you. Like I think the journal entries are the ones that are read to you as the sister's
Yeah.
voice, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you get them by picking up those objects. So I figured that might have triggered one because one was already playing, and I realized that if one's already playing and you pick up a trigger for another one, it won't play.
No, no, no. That one was it comes up like a regular letter and you read it, but it says something like about I guess like the first time the sister and the what was
Lonnie.
the Lonnie like hooked up for the first time or something like that, and then her thing was like, nope, not reading that anymore because that's my sister.
Okay. Because that was bugging the hell out of me. I'm like, well, I want to read it. I didn't actually read it. I hit A by accident.
Yeah, I read like the first like couple sentences of it, and then she put it down. She was like, nope, not reading the rest of that. But with the letters from her friend Carol, the mother's friend Carol, it explains more of the stuff with like that's going on with Rick. Like at first, it starts off like just like a normal friendship, and then it expands into a more flirtatious kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was really good. By they give you little seeds of like, oh, is she cheating on him? Is she not cheating on him? Are they just friends? And then in the letters from Carol, it explains more of it, and I liked that a lot and stuff.
Yeah, no, it has fantastic environmental storytelling, and it sets up a great atmosphere. At one point, I considered Oscar a friend of mine because like I'd be reading a note and I hear something, bouncing around behind me. I'm like, screw off, Oscar, I'm reading. He just sort of became part of the atmosphere. But I feel like where this game fell for me was like I knew what was gonna happen. Like it sort of just compounded on what it already told me. Like the father was an alcoholic. The father was an alcoholic. The mother's a workaholic. The mother's a workaholic. Her sister Sam is not happy. She's misunderstood and living with parents that literally do not understand anything about her.
Right.
And I feel like this game could have been it could have been an A+ game for the ages if they'd given us a little more. Maybe give us some dialogue from the parents. Like the only thing we see is from the sister's perspective, from Sam. We don't ever hear Katie talk. Other than we see those little text blurbs that she sees when she looks over an item. But that doesn't tell us anything. And we see the postcards that she sends, but again, that doesn't tell us anything.
We hear her talk on. There's like a voicemail or something like that we hear her talk on, and I think she says stuff a couple times during it.
Yeah, she'll say things like, "Oh my god," or just small little quips, but we don't get any real dialogue from her. I think it'd be really cool to see I want to see it from the mother's perspective. I want to see it from the father's perspective. Like, the father wrote 2 books, but his father never appreciated him. Like, he thought he was not a good writer. He even wrote the letter saying that I don't think you're a very good writer. You can do better, blah, 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 blah. He turned to alcoholism. Like, that's a compelling story. Let me experience that story.
Right.
So I think this could have been a fantastic must-play game, but right now, I don't know. I wasn't huge on it.
I liked this game a lot, and it kind of hit me in an emotional sense from the idea of the sister feeling like she's an outsider in this family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like it's kind of a relatable thing, right? Because everybody at some point in their life feels like they're like the odd man out.
It's the teenage thing.
Yeah. And so I thought like the way they did that was really good because like most of the time in games like this, right, the writing for a teenage character or for um like let's say like it's like edgy writing or something like that, they try way too hard with it. And I thought that this was a very real feeling like world slash a real feeling like person. And the thing that also really helps with that is that they use the real names of things. So like she talks about the time when she met Lonnie at 7-Eleven to play Street Fighter with her,
Yeah.
right? Instead of being something like we played Alley Fighter or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it was actually Street Fighter, so it felt more real and felt me more connected. And by the end of it, like I was just like I felt so like so many emotions by the fact of like I was just happy for like her sister and being able to be with the person that she like loves, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and yeah, big happy ending. It was all great. So like I said, I wasn't big on the game, but Fulbright, you have made a very compelling story, but it could have been better. In short, trust your players to understand what you're saying. We will
Mm.
get the message if you give us the chance. And give us more sides of the same story. The more sides you give to a story, the more interesting it becomes.
Another thing that I didn't like just because I felt like it was a little too much given the fact that it never really goes anywhere is the fact that they set it up as like there's like weird horror stuff going on here, but then it ends up amounting to nothing.
Yeah, that I thought was kind of weird. Like maybe about for the first 45 minutes or so, it was like really really creepy. Where like
Mm.
you didn't know if this was going to be like a horror game and you were going to find everybody dead in the basement, or if it was going to be just a normal exploratory game. And um, like I said, Oscar became sort of a buddy of mine because I heard him plopping around behind me, and I was like, all right, whatever, screw off, I'm busy.
Mm.
So it's weird to sort of set that full like atmosphere up but not do anything with it.
Yeah, and then even when you find like towards the end because it becomes like a labyrinth maze to try to find stuff to get to other parts of the house. There's like a part where you find a room where Sam and Lonnie had done like a seance to talk to Oscar.
Yeah, it's like a satanic circle with the candles and the chalk and the whole
Mm.
deal.
And then like that just ends up amounting to nothing. So I thought that that was weird, but I liked that this family seemed to have a backstory that wasn't just about this story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like with most games like this, when you're setting up like a family dynamic, it feels like you've just been plopped into a family that's existed for this one story and nothing else has happened over the years. But this, I felt like it set up a good stuff about their history.
Yeah, like you find newspaper clippings about the grandfather's like pharmacy and his
Mm.
business partner and the fact that he fallen ill. So they do a great job of setting up the world. It's just, they fall flat on some places that really could have made this game an A+. plus.
I'd like to see another game like this from this company. Like maybe not exactly a direct Gone Home 2, but something that is like this story, but maybe more fleshed out with some of the stuff that we've talked about.
Yeah, I mean that would be pretty cool. I wouldn't mind seeing a little more about this world, about this family and where it goes. Because
Mm.
for one, I'm curious why didn't Sam just leave a phone number or something, right? Just hey Katie, call me when you find this.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that would have been a pretty acceptable thing to do, right? Just give me a call. I'm not disappearing forever. I'm somewhere in Seattle, so it's like I'm that far.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. I thought it was good. I thought it could have been much better, but Fulbright, you did a great job with what you did present. So
Mm.
that's my 2 cents on Gone Home. What are you, Jacob? Did you play anything fun, anything interesting this week?
Um, I I didn't play a whole lot mainly because early in the week we were doing a lot of E3 stuff, so we were busy with that. The one thing I did get to play was um, I'll talk about this quickly because it's just a demo. I played the Doom demo. They during the E3 press conference for Bethesda, they announced that they were putting out a demo that was just the first level of Doom. And let me tell you something. That was probably the best thing that they could have done because while I was excited about this game before, this fully sold this game for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like of this is a Doom that's like it literally feels like a shooter that was made in the 90s, but just with the technology of 2016.
Yeah, it's one thing to just say, "Oh, there's a new Doom out." Yeah, I'm sure that's pretty cool. Maybe I'll check it out one day. But when you get to like actually play that Doom, it
Mm.
it it hooks you. And they knew that all we had to do was get people to play the game, and they will buy it because it has a way of just grabbing people.
Yeah, and as of this point, like the only thing that people had gotten to play unless they bought the full game was the multiplayer. And while, you say the multiplayer's fun and I had fun for a little bit with it when the beta came out, but it didn't really grab me. It turns people off, I think, from that experience unless they get to play like the full single player mode.
Yeah, because that's not why people play Doom. They don't play Doom for the multiplayer because Doom with multiplayer is not a thing until recently.
I
So
mean, Doom created deathmatch, but even still, like the most of the time, the reason why people went and played Doom was for the story.
yeah, that's why that's you want to be Doom guy. You don't want to be Doom guy fighting all of the other Doom guys. You want to be Doom guy fighting the demons that
Yeah.
rampaging through hell. And so I think they did a very very smart business move. So I take it you thoroughly enjoyed your first level of Doom.
I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I love the way this game makes you feel like a badass. Like there was one point where you've played the game, so like in the first level, like you're on the surface of Mars,
Yep.
like you come out of an elevator. First off, the beginning part is awesome when the opening credits start and it's playing like this metal music, and then it ends with him cocking the gun to the sounds of the song.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. But then you jump off like this big, tall, like you're on like this higher up rock formation and you jump down and there are demons below you, right? The first time I did it, I jumped down, I shot the shotgun at him and it glowed for the glory kill and I clicked the melee thing and I landed on him and crushed his head. And that just made me feel like a badass and immediately like that just made me want to play this game.
Yeah.
And so yeah. So definitely right now cuz I think it's only for this week, go download that demo if you're on the fence about Doom, and I think it'll change your mind. And I really want to do a playthrough on the channel of that game.
I think we can make something happen.
Mm. And then the other thing that I put, I guess, more time into, even though my time with it wasn't that great, was the new GTA expansion,
Oh.
the Executives and Other Criminals. Not no, it's not Executive and Other Criminals. It's Further Adventures in Finance and Felony. It's connected to Executives and Other Criminals. Um, so basically, the way it works is you buy an office building and then you become the CEO of your company. You get to name your company and everything. You get to choose all the amenities that you have, whether it's like a safe or like a
Dental plan.
yeah, not that much, but like a gun locker, stuff like that. And when you first get into an office building, it's really cool because like number one, you can like sit in any chair, and there's like a boardroom like table that you can have like meetings at, and there's like a couch with a TV that has like a video game on it, which is weirdly like light cycles from Tron, and four people can play it at once. It's pretty awesome, but then when you actually get into doing the actual thing, first off, it costs way too much money in GTA to do anything that you want to do, right? So my office building cost me $1 million, right? Then I had to buy a warehouse to put all my stuff in, which cost me another $250,000. Then to do the way the missions work is that you buy counterfeit goods or whatever it is, whether it's art or tobacco and alcohol and stuff like that, and then you bring it to your warehouse and it's stored there until you sell it at a later time, right?
Yeah.
So the way it is like you can buy in three tiers. One crate of something 2,000, two crates of something like I want to say 8,000, and then another like three crates is 18,000. So
That
most
math does not add up.
I don't know if that's exactly the price numbers, but I know the 2,000 one is right. I'm not sure about the middle one, and I know the top one's 18,000. But so the quickest way to fill up your thing is but you have to pay money for that too. So that's extra money on top of it that you have to spend on the 1.25 million that you've already spent on getting your business up and running, right?
Yeah.
So I did the thing the first time because I had no clue what I was doing, so I just bought the one crate for 2,000, right? I had to drive to an area, throw a flare down. They airdropped in the medical supplies that I bought, and then I drove it back to my warehouse. Then when I got to my warehouse, it told me that I could sell it on like some weird fake
eBay.
eBay, yeah, essentially. Um, for like I got like 10 grand for something that I spent 2 grand on. So the payout difference is pretty good there.
Yeah, but when you need millions to do anything, you need to do that 100 times.
Exactly. That's my problem is that it doesn't seem like I would make my capital investment back quick enough with this, right? So
Yeah.
I've been playing this for like I played it for like 2 days, right? Because we've only had 2 days since we last did the E3 thing. And the first day I did it with like 3 people, and it was fun. But you have to pay them to do anything with you, right? So that's more money being taken out of you,
Hmm.
and they get a cut of all the things that are sold in the end. But the thing is with it is that you could do all this by yourself. It's not as fun, but you could do it all by yourself and make more money in the long run. And the thing is with it, right, is that it's meant to be like you're in a free mode lobby. So there would be, you know, a full like 30 people or whatever in the lobby, whatever the number is now for GTA. And that after a certain amount of time, the whole map is alerted to the fact that you're shipping goods. So they can all try to attack you and take your goods and they make money on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the thing is that the GTA servers are so broken that most of the time I get thrown into a game where it's just me. So it's just a drive to this point. If something goes wrong, like say one scenario was that the cops took my crate of goods and I had to fight the cops to get my crate back and then drive it back to my warehouse, right?
Yeah.
That happens, but then after I get past the cops, like I'll just have a free ride to my warehouse, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it's a problem with the GTA servers, and they've had this problem for the longest time. So I don't know. I feel like they should be doing more to fix it. But like even when I used to, I don't play much anymore. But when I did play it back when heists had first come out, servers were almost always empty. Like I very
mm,
rarely got into a server with anybody in it.
it takes like forever to get into a server, and then when you get into it, most of the time it just throws you in one by yourself because it can't find one that you're compatible with, which makes no sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's everybody's complaining that nobody can find a server with anybody in it. But if everybody's in a server alone, then it should be pretty easy to get people together. So I don't understand where the disconnect is.
Yeah. So like that kind of ruins my enjoyment of it because like after a while, it's just like it's a boring drive here, get your crates, drive it back to the warehouse, then sell it, drive it to the sell point, rinse and repeat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you're doing it with friends, it's a little fun because there can be ones where it's like 3 people stole your crates and they went in 3 different directions. So everyone split up and take a guy and then grab a crate and meet back up at the warehouse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it gives you more options.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a fun update for the fact that it just adds something new to the game, but I don't know how much I'll do it. I guess it's a nice way to make an easy cash flow in that game than having to do the big commitment that is a heist because you have to go through like 4 or 5 setup missions and then you have the big heist and then at the end you get like, say like 400K out of that, right?
Heists really screwed the GTA economy. Like everybody got a ton of money, so every update now Rockstar has vehicles that costs absurd amounts of money. Right?
Mm.
Because they assume everybody still has tons of money because of the heists, but like if every activity other than the heists gives like minuscule amounts, then nobody's going to be able to afford the content you're putting out.
Yeah. And so like if you get a full warehouse, you can make something like I don't know, like 500,000 cuz like the other night I only had like a half full warehouse and I made like 200 grand on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I assume that maybe if I fill up my small warehouse, which is like 16 crates can fit in there, I'll make, a decent amount of money, but like the the road to getting there is just really boring and tedious.
As is most grinding in almost any game, so
Yeah,
not surprising.
that's essentially what it comes down to is that it's just grinding. But that's all I played this week.
One of our longer what are we playing sections, I
Well, yeah,
think.
we had the big talk about
Gone Home.
and then we had the big talk about GTA.
Yeah,
So,
so
but I mean, a lot of our stories are quickies this week, so we can kind of get through
we're
them.
winding down. No more, big stories for a while. And for a while, I mean until Tuesday, because I'm sure somebody will say something.
Yeah, and so then let's just get into the news. So we're gonna start off the news with something that is kind of near and dear to my heart because I think this game is one of the most underrated first-person shooters I've ever played. Bulletstorm is getting a remaster that's coming to the Xbox One. A remastered version of Bulletstorm, the 2010 action-adventure shooter from People Can Fly and Epic Games, is in development, according to screenshots found in a package of assets Microsoft is handing out at E3. The drive contains a folder titled Bulletstorm Remaster that includes 4 screenshots and 1 hero image showing the cast of the original game, plus 3 4K resolution screenshots of environments found in the original game. There is a gallery on the Polygon article. Um, Despite the screenshots, no Bulletstorm remaster has been announced by People Can Fly or Electronic Arts, the original publisher. Last summer, Bulletstorm developer People Can Fly regained its independence from Epic Games, who acquired the majority stake in the Painkiller developer back in 2007. According to People Can Fly studio director Sebastian Wachachikowski, his team always owned the rights to Bulletstorm, so there is no need to buy them back from Epic Games separately. Brad, did you ever play Bulletstorm?
I have not. I have not had the pleasure.
Do you know what Bulletstorm is?
I have heard of it, yes.
Bulletstorm was a really cool game because um, it kind of reminded me a lot of like if Gears of War was funny.
Mm-hmm.
And the way it worked was you landed on this planet and then you were fighting like these like soldiers and you were space pirates. And you found this thing called like a whip leash or something like that, and it was like a laser like whip that could pull people, but this whip leash also gave you like a HUD that scores you for how creative your kills are, and so it was like an in-universe reason to just kill people as creatively as possible. So like one of them you could do was you could slam people in the game with the whip and everyone would fly up in the air like gravity wise, and there was a gun that could shoot like a firework, and if you shot him with it and shot him up in the air, it would come up and say like fireworks show or something like that. This game's really cool, and I'm glad that it's getting a remaster because, like, when it came out on Xbox 360, like, it didn't do really well. I blame that mainly towards marketing because, like, I'd only heard about that game from, like, E3 stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Wasn't it early in the Xbox 360 life cycle, too?
Uh,
I feel like it was towards the beginning half.
it was probably towards the beginning half because it came out 2010. So,
Yeah, Xbox 360 was, what, 2007?
yeah. So it was about there in the mid to early parts of the Xbox life cycle. But I really think that if the rumors of this true, and it seems like it is, everyone should check it out because I think a remastered version of that game could be really cool and really fun to play.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. If it's anything like the first one, people will enjoy it. It's one of those games that nobody seems to know it didn't do well because everybody loved it.
It reminded me because it came out around the same time as it. It's like if you did like a newer Duke Nukem game, right, humor wise.
Yeah.
Because like it's juvenile humor, but it's not like so juvenile that like you can't get behind it as like an adult.
Yeah.
But moving on. Brad, have you like Zelda? You a Zelda fan?
Not huge on it. My brothers are bigger into Zelda than I am, but I have dabbled in a Zelda game here and there.
Well, maybe you'll be excited for this next Zelda game because the next Legend of Zelda game has a subtitle. It is being called The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Nintendo of America President Reggie Fils-Aimé touted the game as a completely different approach. The introductory trailer showed scenes in an open world, followed by Link exploring, taming a horse, cooking food, hunting animals, crafting structures, and other activities. This is easily one of the biggest experiences ever created by Nintendo, Fils-Aimé said. The newest Legend of Zelda was first discussed at E3 2013. Last year, producer NG Onimura announced that the game was delayed from its original 2015 window and now will be coming March 2017 so that it can launch simultaneously on Wii U and the NX.
March 2017, you said?
Yes.
So that pretty much says that we're getting the NX
In March. Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So have you seen this trailer or any of the gameplay of it?
I have seen the trailer, I have seen some gameplay, and according to my brother, they released a statement saying that it's 9 times larger than Skyrim. So
Really?
I haven't double checked that fact, but he generally does some pretty studious research, so I'm gonna trust him on that. And if he's wrong, then you know what? I'm never listening to you again.
When I looked at the gameplay of this, I my first thought was this looks like The Witcher Zelda edition, kind of in a way.
It's very much more RPG like than previous Zelda games, because you know Zelda's always been very heavy in their puzzles, right? And I'm sure this game will have puzzles up the wazoo, but
Mm.
I'm not It's the first Zelda where you can like equip armor and clothes and stuff, and like has an actual full open world that you can explore. So they're taking it in a new direction. I'm glad to see it.
I like that a lot, and I like that idea, and I like what it might do for the Zelda format. Because as it is with Zelda, right, you can usually do things in your own order of the way you want to do stuff. You know what I mean? Like you go to any temple that you want to do. So like going fully open world with it seems like the right direction to go in.
Seems like natural progression.
Yeah, and I really want to see how it all shakes out because as it is now, it looks fun. They showed the Wii U version, and I think I would just wait for NX at that point. You know what I mean?
I'm really really excited for the NX because I haven't had a Nintendo console in a long time since the game. Well, I had a Wii, but I didn't
Mm,
use it much.
yeah,
So since the GameCube, I haven't had a Nintendo console that I've like really sat down and played a lot of, and I'm hoping the NX is gonna be that.
I'm excited to see what it is. Like I just finally want to find out what's going on with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's one of the. I hate to say this, but their strategy's working and it's annoying me. They're keeping it secret so people are wondering and speculating and getting excited, and I
Mm.
hate it because it's working on me. I know it. I know what they're doing, and it's still working.
You got to assume that we'll see what that is. You know, maybe by the fall.
Hopefully, I mean, if it's
Be-
coming in March, then they have, I don't know, what 9 months to get it done.
Something like that. But you got to show off what that system is and what kind of things it is in order to,
At
get the
least
word out there.
give us a picture of the controller so we can put all these stupid rumors to rest. Just give us a
Yes.
definitive look at that freaking controller.
And hopefully it looks like a DualShock 4 or something. Just a regular controller.
Yeah, I don't care if you do a gimmick like PlayStation did a gimmick. They did that little touchscreen thing in the light, which it turned out to be almost useless in 90% of games, but they did something new, so do that. Make a cool regular controller with a gimmick. I'll
But
be fine with it.
that light technology is bringing us closer to VR because the VR headset has basically the same sort of thing in it.
Yeah, it was a stepping stone to bigger things.
Exactly. But speaking of a stepper stone to bigger things, not really. Brad, do you like Rock Band? Are you a fan of the Rock Bands?
When it first came out, yes. I played a lot of the drums.
Yeah. Well, this may excite you then because they're announcing Rock Band Rivals. It's a new expansion for Rock Band 4, and there's also some new gear coming to it too. Harmonix has continued to fiddle, get it, with Rock Band 4 since its release. Since it released the game last year, but it's got something more significant planned for later this year. This fall, the studio, in conjunction with new publisher PDP, will release Rock Band Rivals, a $30 expansion. The studio is staying mum on any other specifics at the moment, saying, "We're going to be bringing you brand new features that have never been seen in Rock Band before. These are really big new modes to the game, and players of all difficulties and play styles will be able to enjoy what we're cooking up for you." Harmonix also took the opportunity to reveal new equipment for the game, including the foldable Jaguar controller, Fender Jaguar controller. In addition to the folding easy travel and storage, the Jaguar includes improvements to the strum bar and auto calibration sensor. It'll retail for $89.99 with Rock Band 4 and Rivals, or $69.99 on its own. PDP will also release a $30 charging stand for the Jaguar and a $30 adapter for legacy wired instruments, which I'm excited about because I still have my Rock Band 1 instrument, so maybe I'll finally get Rock Band 4. Most excitingly, you'll be able to use your Ion drum kits, which was like a big deal back in the day. It was these really heavy-duty drum sets. Lastly, the company is creating a bundle including Rock Band 4, Rivals, a Jaguar, and a drum kit for $199.99. Like Rivals, the equipment hasn't been specifically dated. Harmonix is currently aiming for later this year.
It always amazes me how prohibitively expensive Rock Band is.
I think this is much better than their, hey, it's $250 for our kit thing, right? Because like as it is now, at least for me in the sense, right, is this would be kind of where I would get into Rock Band 4 is that last one because I have all my old instruments and they're all wired, right?
Yeah.
So I haven't been able to play Rock Band 4 because I don't want to buy the new instruments because they're way too expensive. But a $200 bundle that comes with the base game, this new Rivals thing, the new guitar and the new controller, and the new drum kit excites me because like the only instruments I really need to replace are my drum kit and my old Rock Band 1 guitar because the strum bar is all messed up on it. And then I can just spend $30 and use all my other instruments. Like so in the end I'm spending like 230, which I mean is close to the original price of it, but I'm getting a lot more out of it, I think, in that sense because I don't have to buy all new instruments. And then even then I've always been confused and I know it would make it much more expensive, but for some reason Rock Band never gives you two guitars in the bundle that they sell and two guitars is needed for the full experience.
Um. Yeah. I mean, I feel like it was probably a marketing decision. It's like, listen, we can put two guitars in this bundle, but that's gonna push the price, closer to 300, and 300 is a bad number. We don't want people to see that, so we
Yeah.
gotta keep it lower. So that was probably their reasoning there.
Yeah, but I mean, all this stuff sounds exciting for it. I'm surprised they've been continuing to support, like, not like DLC wise. I get why they'd keep supporting because like they make tons of money off DLC for these games, right?
Yeah.
Because everyone just wants all the songs. But like the when Rock Band 4 came out, like it seemingly did not do well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it came out and everybody like just forgot about it. Like we had talked about it on the show prior to its release, I think. And actually, did we? Either prior to its release or just as it had come out. I remember talking about it before.
I know we definitely talked about it when they announced all the U2 songs were getting added because I made the joke about you being a huge U2 fan.
Yeah. So like, but it disappeared. Like outside of these DLC announcements or updates or controller like adaptability fixes or whatever, like it just sort of fades into obscurity.
The thing is with it, right, is I think with that game, the reason why it didn't get talked about more is because it was just like, this is more Rock Band. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which isn't a bad thing. You know what I mean? It's like, here's your definitive version of Rock Band because these new systems are out and you don't want to pull out your 360 if you guys want to have like a party night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as it stands, right, it didn't do anything that innovative with it. The set list for it, like the on disc set list wasn't that great. So like it just all kind of came together to make it a forgettable sort of game. And whereas Guitar Hero got talked about more, I think because it really did innovate the series kind of. Like it did something really different with that series, and that's why I think a lot of people talked about that one more. But I've always been into getting Rock Band 4. I've just not been into spending the money for Rock Band 4, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's a lot of money for something that just essentially turns into a party game for those Friday nights where you don't feel like going out, so you invite a bunch of friends over and you get stupid and play Rock Band and
Yeah.
that's like what, a once a month event at best. So
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like playing Rock Band on my off time. Sometimes I'm just like I just want to, play a couple songs in Rock Band, let me pull out the guitar. But as it stands, like I've never been like I need to spend the like almost $300 to get Rock Band.
yeah,
So this new bundle thing interests me. The adapter thing interests me. The fact that they're finally doing wired instruments that are being allowed, and like that's cool to me. And so I think I'll check this out actually when it comes this fall. You know what I mean?
cool. We expect an update.
Yes. Um, Speaking of updates, Xbox One's getting an update to get keyboard and mouse support. Keyboard and mouse support has been close to being released on the Xbox One for some time, but it sounds like it may finally be close to release. When we enable PC and mouse on console, when we enable PC and mouse on console,
Yeah, it's not a very good writer. He no words good.
yeah, that's a typo there. When we enable keyboard and mouse on console, it'll be interesting to see how many of those creators think about running their PC they keep doing this. Their keyboard and mouse only games on console, and then this idea of play anywhere might get even more interesting for you guys. Microsoft's Phil Spencer told PC Games, and when we asked about how play anywhere may narrow the gap between Xbox and PC. So keyboard and mouse support is still happening for the Xbox. And then Phil Spencer responds, I keep talking about it in press, and my platform team keeps shaking their head because they truthfully in our dev kit modes now keyboard works and mouse support is a little bit further away. Spencer continued, I say it because I know it's not years away, it's more like months away, but we don't have any exact date yet. This is great news, and it means that support for keyboard and mouse controls will be here long before the release of Project Scorpio. And Phil Spencer's been talking about this since 2015 because someone had emailed him not emailed him, tweeted him in 2015, and then he tweeted back at them that keyboard and mouse support was coming. Brad, what do you think about this? I think it's actually really cool.
I think that it's a big undertaking. And I applaud Xbox for doing it because it's. I'm trying to figure out like what the repercussions for this are going to be, right? Because consoles are developed for and balanced much differently than PCs, right? And that's primarily because of keyboard and mouse. Like shooters are a great example. Overwatch is balancing the PC version of Overwatch. I'm sorry, there's a person mowing the lawn outside my window. Why are you mowing the lawn now? What are you doing?
He heard Complete with DLC was getting recorded, and he was like, oh, well, now's the time.
Yeah. So they're balancing the PC version differently than they're balancing the console versions. And they just released an update for the PC version not too long ago. And that's because of keyboard and mouse. Like Farah, for example, is one of the characters. She's much harder to shoot on consoles because the sticks limit you in how you can aim, right? Where in PC you can just sort of flick the mouse and get her. It's a lot harder to do vertical movement with a controller.
I think
this is going to change the way that developers develop for Xbox.
Here's the thing, right? I think the keyboard and mouse, right, it'll be one of those things like their cross-platform play that they're doing, where it can be implemented if you want to, but you don't have to do it, right? So all the console versions could end up staying the same without getting keyboard and mouse control, right? Like I don't see a future where the Xbox version of Call of Duty will have people playing with keyboard and mouse, you know what I mean?
I mean, it could.
It could happen, but I just don't see it happening. I see this maybe more for maybe games that you don't think that you could bring to console now could be brought to console. Like Civilization could end up coming out on Xbox. Or
Counter-Strike.
Counter-Strike could end up coming out on Xbox and would probably support this, right? Or
I mean, that's such a bizarre thought to me. Like Counter-Strike is the PC shooter. Like you use a mouse and keyboard, and it's, people like to make the joke that it's superior to Call of Duty because Call of Duty's for 12-year-old kids, blah 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 blah. But to have that come to console is like, even to have that possibility is just so strange to me.
yeah, like it could. Games like League could come to console.
Yeah, I mean, there's the audience for it. Smite tried it with their MOBA, did it with a controller, and people seem to want MOBAs in the console market. So, it's I'm very happy with Microsoft right now. I mean, they're doing a lot of things that are changing the industry. For better or worse, we don't know yet, but it's innovation that I think needs to happen. This Play Anywhere thing, the keyboard and mouse support, there's a lot of really, really good things happening from them right now, and I'm excited to see where it takes us.
This also seems like it could be moving more towards the thing that Phil Spencer had commented on a couple months ago, where the future of Xbox may be in more making it like a PC.
Make it a platform.
Yeah, make it a platform. So essentially, like, this could be moving towards making an Xbox into a sort of computer-like device, you know what I mean?
This seems incredibly strange to me, because think about it this way, right? The Scorpio's coming out in holiday 2017, right?
Mm-hmm.
If this is months away, then the Scorpio is going to have keyboard and mouse support. That's a given. And this is a big if it does have 4K gameplay, you can run it 4K, which is a big if, because it's not easy to do. then it will be the by far the cheapest 4K capable machine in the market, PC
Yes.
or otherwise.
Yeah.
And it would literally play like a PC if you could use a keyboard and mouse.
Yeah, if it has keyboard and mouse, like I can't see a game not coming to that console, you know what I mean?
That's incredibly strange to me because 4K is not easy to do with a PC. And to have a console do it in and of itself is seems like a far-fetched idea, but if it's possible,
It's got that 6 teraflops.
it's them 6 teraflops, man, the highest quality pixels on the market.
Exactly.
But I don't know. This is a very strange time for video games. We have VR, we have consoles that are turning into PCs. We have everybody plays everything on everything. So it's I don't know. I'm really really excited for the future.
It seems to me that Microsoft's playing catch up on this. You know what I mean? Because like I think that Microsoft sat down and was like, you know what, we lost this generation, very like heavy-handedly. We lost this generation to PlayStation.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the drawing board. Let's change up our approach to this because the Xbox One reveal was just like a disaster because it was like, here's all our entertainment stuff and you can watch TV on it. Oh yeah, this thing plays video games too. So
Yeah.
there's that, I guess.
It's sort of like the opposite of what PlayStation did with the PS3, right? Because when the PS3 came out, it was the cheapest like Blu-ray player there was.
Yeah.
Right? So people bought it because it was a really cheap Blu-ray player and playing games was a bonus. But they marketed it as a gaming console. Xbox
Right.
did the opposite. It was supposed to play games, but they marketed it as an entertainment console. So they kind of screwed that up a little bit.
Exactly. And so I think that they were just like, let's go back to the drawing board. Let's make a newer system that's more powerful, and let's make it closer to just uniting all of our fronts here.
I think this was their Hail Mary, right? Like they were like, listen guys, we lost this pretty heavy-handedly, so let's take a crazy idea and just wing it and see where it goes. And we haven't seen it hit the ground yet. It's still in the air. We're going to see if, whoever the wide receivers is going to grab it, but if
See
they
if Gronk
do,
can get it.
yeah, if they pick this thing out of the air, then it's going to go far.
Yeah. I'm very excited to see what the future of Microsoft holds
Yes.
for games. But that's the end of all of our regular news stories, and we're going to move now into the wrap-up.
I got to find a sound clip for the wrap-up.
Yes, it would be nice to have a sound clip for the wrap-up. But continuing with the Microsoft, Microsoft has dropped the price of the 500 gigabyte Xbox One again to $279, barely 2 weeks after a $50 price cut to $300. The price is good for bundles involving this model, except for the 3-game Spring bundle, which is still $300 because it has a terabyte hard drive and it comes with Halo,
Games.
Halo, Gears, and Rare Replay.
Yeah.
This cut is called a promotional price, lasting to October 1st. That's about 2 months after the Xbox One S launches.
This was a really smart move from them. If the Xbox S is $300, nobody's going to buy the original for $300.
Yeah,
Right?
that's true.
So if somebody just needs, say, a backup Xbox, because believe it or not, I have met people who have backup consoles. This was very popular with the Xbox 360 because those things were so damn unreliable.
Exactly.
So this could just be somebody's backup, right? Like, hey, listen, I'll get the 3-game bundle for like $300. I'll get, I'll stick it in a closet somewhere. So if and when I need to, or I'm going on the go, right? I'm going to a friend's house. We're gonna have a LAN party. I can bring the backup Xbox.
Even then, too, if you bought the One S and the 500 gigabyte one, they essentially come out to the price of like the original Xbox One price.
Yeah.
In a weird way. So like, you could do that.
To be honest, if anyone's buying the Xbox One S, it's because it's the cheapest 4K video player there is, not because it's a video game console. It's the same thing with the PS3 all over again.
You know what they didn't mention there?
What?
Does it play 4K Blu-rays?
The Xbox One S?
Yes.
Yes. It's a 4K
Really?
video player. Yep.
So it can play. It's a 4K Blu-ray player as well. Because I know when they said 4K video, they showed like Netflix and stuff.
I believe it does 4K Blu-ray. Allow me to Google it.
While you're googling that, I'll go on to the next story. The Golf Club 2, the successor to the 2014 golf simulation and course designer for PlayStation 4, Windows PC, and Xbox One, is coming in the first quarter of 2017. Developer HB Studios announced that they have been working on the game since September. The studio said, and plans... this is weirdly, like, spaced out here. The studio said that they've been working on it since September and plans a slew of new features of features that are new to the game, including a richer career mode, tournament presentation for major events, a deeper player editor, a practice range, and something called Golf Societies.
Golf Society sounds like something that would be in a USA drama, where it's
Yeah,
like actually a hidden underground, like, business evil corporation or whatever.
that sounds like the name of a USA drama. Like right after White Collar, they
Yeah,
play Golf
it's Golf
Society.
Societies.
It's Golf Societies, then it's a rerun of Mr. Robot or something,
Yeah.
and then Monday Night Raw.
To answer the earlier question, yes, the Xbox One S does play 4K Blu-rays
That
for $300. It's by far the cheapest on the market.
absolutely, that's crazy. If I had a 4K TV, I'd care, but
Yeah.
I don't at this point.
That's what makes
So
me sad about the Scorpio.
what?
I mean, it's a whole thing. I don't want to get too much into it because we're running long. But the 4K, the Scorpio, essentially, what it seems like it's going to do is it's going to render 4K regardless of your display.
Mm,
So if you're playing on, say, a 1080p TV, but
mm.
it's rendering at 4K, it's going to be forced to downscale it to 1080p. So even though you're playing at a lower resolution, you're not going to see any frame rate bumps, which is kind of upsetting.
Yeah.
You know, what are you going to do? That's not even confirmed yet. This is just the speculation that I've been hearing because of Phil Spencer's been doing 17 million interviews about it.
Yeah, but that's literally every interview I've seen has been Phil Spencer talks Project Scorpio, and
Yeah.
but yeah. During Nintendo's E3 livestream, the publisher announced that its upcoming AR mobile Pokemon game being made by Niantic Labs, Pokemon Go, would be released sometime in July. Pokemon Go Plus, the hardware device that allows players to use the game without taking out their phones, will also be released for $34.99, which is crazy because that's just a wristband. Although Pokemon Go
Yeah.
Plus will come in at $34.99, the actual game will be free.
Yeah, this little wristband here that I'm showing on, this is $35.
Yeah. It's a little for those who are listening to the audio, it's a wristband that has a Pokeball on it.
It's not even a correct Pokeball. It's like an upside down teardrop shape.
Yeah,
How do you screw that up, guys?
I
Don't
don't
tell
know.
me it's a design decision. That's just stupid.
That's $34.99 though, guys. So
Oh, but look at all the colors they come in. Oh, never mind. This is just speculation. Oh, they better come in all these colors. These look kind of cool.
what if some like look like Master Balls?
Yeah,
and
they all
stuff?
look like the different kinds of Pokeballs.
Mm, that's interesting. That's
Okay,
interesting.
Now I kind of want one.
Steam Summer Sale will begin next week, according to PayPal. The sale will run from 9:45 a.m. Pacific Time on June 23rd until July 4th at 10 a.m. Pacific Time. No words on what sort of exceptional discounts we'll be seeing, but if you game on the PC, you should be excited.
Oh, absolutely. The Steam Summer Sale is by far the biggest, like, just bleh of games that get tossed at us every year. There's just, like, things like The Witcher will be, like, $7 or $8. Like, something stupid like that. So, if you're just getting into PC gaming or, you have some spare change in your pocket from doing laundry or something, you can throw it and buy a AAA title.
One time, and this was before GTA 5 had come out, they had the GTA collection, it was three Vice City, San Andreas 4, and all of 4's expansions for like $10.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I want to say, 100 and change games on 120 or so on Steam. Most of them are from the Steam sale or the Humble Bundles, so it's the value you get out of the Steam sale is ridiculous. So definitely check that out if you are not familiar.
Mm. And that's it for the news.
That's it.
And Brad, I came to a realization in the middle of the news.
You don't have a thing, do you?
I forgot to get all the games for All That Sucked.
For shame.
You wouldn't happen to have a QTQ set up, would you?
No, I told you I do that on Sundays.
Great. That's awesome.
Well,
don't-
Jacob Dungan screwed the pooch on this one.
I don't know if I want it to end like this.
Where I think I just need to go into the spiel and end your.
Wait.
Oh God.
What was your E3 game of the show? What game did you see at E3 or in the various interviews after E3 that you were like, that game looks amazing?
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yes.
I like that. I agree with that.
That or Fee.
I think my game of the show might be Ghost Recon Wildlands.
That did look really, really good. I wasn't a fan of the guy's talking. Originally,
That's
I thought it was in-game dialogue.
yeah.
And then they said something about the mission. I'm like, wait, these are people talking?
That's Ubisoft does that every year
I
where
know.
they
Why? Ubisoft, stop.
because I guess they feel the need to represent like what online gaming is, but the problem is that's not what online gaming is. Like
No,
no,
not at
like
all.
I say nobody plays like that, but I know a couple people that play like that. But still, like not enough people play like that to the point where you're like, we need to make this how we show our game off.
Yeah, makes me sad, really, is what it does.
But it's funny every year because then it makes me think of like, what if they did this like the legit online demo? Like, it's like you're like, all right, guys, we're gonna go in here, we're gonna get this guy, and then you have like some little kid coming in. Guys, have you guys done the mission yet?
Yeah.
Got the ACOG scope. Hi, everybody. I'm new to the game.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's the kid you find in every single Call of Duty collab. He goes, "Hey guys, can we you snipers only? Snipers only, guys."
Who wants to 1v1 me?
Yeah,
No scopes on Rust.
That right there is online gaming, Ubisoft. Don't put that in your trailers, please. Just understand that that's what online gaming is.
Then he calls you the N-word halfway through it.
Yeah.
It's so that would be the real way to show it. But yeah, so Ghost Recon would be my game to show just because like I've said before many times on the show, I love me some good co-op.
Yes. Unfortunately, I don't think there are any Metacritic scores for those games, Jacob. So.
Yeah. I bet you I can guess what the Metacritic score is gonna be for those games.
I hope. I'm realistic. I'm gonna say high 80s.
I'm gonna say 80 some. I'm gonna say like 83 for Ghost Recon. For Horizon, I'm gonna give it like 89 or 90, and then for Fee, I'll give it like a 70.
All right, I'm going 85 for Recon, 92 for Horizon, and 81 for Fee. I'm writing this down, by the way.
All right, good. Lock it away.
Showing to the camera, so we predictions are coming true.
Lock it away, and we'll see where everything all shakes out to be.
Yeah. All right.
Now, Brad, you can go into the spiel.
I was writing. Okay. So if you want to get in touch with us, you can do that at completewithdlc@gmail.com. It's going to be the best place for you to get any of your insights, your questions, comments, concerns, or just want to chat with us. Head over to our emails, and we will definitely respond to you. If you have a question for either one of us specifically, excuse me, I almost coughed. If you have a question for either one of us specifically, please put our name in either the subject line or the body of the email, and I'll make sure the correct person answers you. If you don't care which one of us answers, then, doesn't really matter. But if you don't want to email us and you instead just want to keep up to date with everything the show's doing, head over to Twitter and look up Complete with DLC, because that is us on Twitter. That's where Jacob puts all the information about the new episodes that go up, any of the various YouTube series that we're doing, things of that nature. Twitter's the best place to consolidate it all into one happy-go-lucky place. If, for some reason, you don't want to use social medias, and I don't really blame you, then what you can do is you head over to your various podcast players. You can find us wherever your podcasts are found. Whether that be, screw you, lawnmower guy. You could have done it at any other point where I could just silence my audio. You can head over to any of your various podcast players, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or SoundCloud, or any of the affiliates thereof. And once you're there, please use whatever review software they give you, whether that be thumbs, stars, arrows, or smiley faces, and leave us a review. Give us some give us some criticism, some feedback. We take everything you guys give us, and we like to think we're improving the show constantly. I believe that is all the show information. Jacob, if you want to get in touch with us, if they want to get in touch with you specifically, where can they do that?
You turned into R2 there for a second.
I know. The lawnmower guy screwed me up, okay? Just my brain's in jumbles.
You're gonna blame the lawnmower guy, huh?
Yeah.
If you want to get in touch with me, you can do that on any sort of social media at itsjaygriff, ITSJAYGRIFF. I'm probably most active on Twitter. You can go on there. You can see what I thought of some stuff from E3. Also, what I thought about The Conjuring 2. So, yeah. Go to my Twitter if you want to see that. Brad, if they want to get in touch with you, where can they do so?
If you want to get in touch with me, you can do that on Twitter as well. I'm Calgony on Twitter, Kalgne. I'm not terribly active on Twitter, but I do pay attention to it, so if you get in touch with me, I will know. Just because I don't tweet doesn't mean I'm not paying attention. But if you don't want to use Twitter or you'd rather have an actual discussion with me, then head over to Battle.net. I am Brad #1261 on Battle.net. Yes, you have to put the hashtag in there because Blizzard is odd. Battle.net is Blizzard's little interactive hub for all their games. It's totally free. You can download it. It has a little instant messenger thing attached. If you do send me a friend request, let me know where you heard the friend code, whether it be a podcast episode, a YouTube video, or any other source, so I can sort of keep a physical note of this, and I can make sure I don't accidentally delete you later on when I forget who you are. So if you want to play some Overwatch with me, head over to Battle.net, and I'll be happy to play some Overwatch.
That's it for the show.
Yes, if you wanna watch Complete with DLC live, head over to twitch.tv/completewithdlc. If you miss the live stream at approximately 1 p.m. Eastern, then you can head over to YouTube, youtube.com/1700 billion letters, because we don't have a custom URL. You look at the description of the episodes for the YouTube link.
Guys, please subscribe so we can have a custom URL.
Yeah, and all the stream archives and videos go up to YouTube after the show goes up. I believe we're about 2 episodes behind, but after today, we will maybe no episodes behind. So mark my words.
All the E3 conference stuff too is out in audio form. The video form will be out by the end of the week.
I believe that's it, Jacob.
And that's it.
It's done.
Yep. This has been Complete with DLC. I'm Jacob Griffin.
Oh, musical recommendation.
Oh, thank you for catching that.
Aha.
Brad, you recommend first.
Well, after the terrible events of I'm not talking about Orlando. I'm talking about Christina Grimmie.
That's who I was gonna recommend.
Was it?
Yes.
Oh, well, then we're recommending the same person then. Christina Grimmie. I've found her through her covers. She does some fantastic covers. Check her out on YouTube.
Really great.
Yeah, terrible shame what happened. For those who don't know, I'm not going to embellish this, but she was shot at by a fan at a convention that she was at, and she did pass away because of that. Terrible shame, but her music is definitely some of the best that I have heard. So
very, very talented girl.
yes. So head over to YouTube, check her out. I think you will really enjoy it.
Yes.
But now we actually can sign off.
Yes. On a somber note, this has been Complete with DLC. I'm Jacob Griffin.
I'm sad.
And thank you for watching.